ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम मंत्र नंबर 9। विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिः विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिः छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे। विद्यन्ते हृदय ग्रंथिः छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः विद्यन्ते हृदय ग्रंथिः छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे। Yesterday we saw drashte paravare brahmani. You have to add that. Having known Brahman, having seen Brahman. Known Brahman means that which is cause as well as the effect. The Brahman, that is Jagat Karanam, and that which is manifest as Jagat, that is Drashte Gnate Sati. When there is a clear knowledge about Brahman, that is cause of the entire creation, which is nothing but its own manifestation. That then when one knows that, what happens? Vidyante, vidyate hridaya granthihi. Vidyante, hridaya granthihi. All the, the knots of the hridaya. The knot, granthi, the knot of the hridaya, vidyante, it stands resolved. The knot is there when two things are tied up. Here, what are the two things which are tied up? Atma, Anatma. Okay. Vishaya Vishayinaho idam aham idam pratyaya gocharayo tamah prakasha viruddha svabhavayo. In Brahma Sutra, Shankaracharya ji the very first sentence in his Bhashya, he says, what are they? One is aham pratyaya gochara. One is referred as I. The other is referred as this. Aham idam pratyaya gocharayo vishaya vishayino. One is a subject, another is object. They are of opposite nature. Viruddha swabhavayo. The nature is just opposite. How opposite? Tamah prakashavat viruddha swabhavayo. Just as the light and the darkness are opposite to each other, so also Atma and Anatma are just opposite to each other. Itaretar bhavanupavattau. It is impossible that one becomes another and another becomes one, but still they become. This is caused by ignorance. Okay? This confusion, or as I said, encroachment of aham into idam. Aham encroaches as something. When you encroach somebody's land, that means which belongs to someone else and you claim it to be yours. So also here aham encroaches into idam and claims idam as aham. This is the confusion. This is the effect of the avidya. And that is a knot. These two things are as though tied up. Self and non-self. Atma and Anatma are tied up. Traditionally they give an example. It is like fireball. There is one iron ball and there is a fire. When iron ball is kept in fire for some time, and when you bring it out, then you call it a fireball. Fire doesn't have a shape of a ball, and the ball is not fire. Still, combination of the two creates a new entity called as a fireball. Similarly here, this avidya granthi, that Atma is taken as to be anatma, and Atma, in other words, becomes a jiva, as though becomes a jiva. And what is the status of being jiva? Jivatvam means what? Jivatvam is to take oneself to be karta bhokta. I am doer, I am enjoyer. That sense of doership. And the sense of doership manifests because of, as we said in last week or in the last class also, individuality. I am a small person. I am a limited person, limited to the size of physio-psycho complex, and everything else is other than me. And then feels that everything else is out to get me. That sense of being limited, the sense of being small, the sense of being insecure, this granthi. This is all expression of a granthi. Yesterday I told you, this is a cognitive knot. This is not physical knot. Granthi is not physical. It is at the level of buddhi. Buddhi means not out of knowledge. You can say ignorant buddhi caused knot. This is caused by a buddhi which is ignorant. And then there is a knot of Atma and Anatma. And then they join together. Vidyate, this is a granthi. Technically they call it as avidya kama karma. Sense of limitations, sense of being insecure, sense of being unhappy is against my nature. against what I am. This sense is something which is unnatural to me. And that being the case, you feel what? Uncomfortable. I cannot accept this. Anything that is foreign, anything that is unnatural, it pinches me, it pains me, and I want to get rid of it. Exactly like a drop of water in your ears after a swim in a swimming pool. Just one drop is unnatural here. A drop in the throat is not unnatural. But a drop of water in the ear is unnatural. You are uncomfortable and you want to get rid of it. Or as Puja Swamiji often used to say, a pebble in your shoes. You may be in a great hurry, a small pebble, very insignificant, but you sense it. Even though you have worn the socks, you might be wearing that winter socks of US, the thick one socks, those special socks used in the eastern coast. You might be wearing those socks, but still you feel uncomfortable. You want to get rid of it at the earliest. Similarly, just as you sense the pebble, you sense I am limited. You sense I am unhappy. You sense I am incomplete. You sense I am dissatisfied with myself. That sense centered on I is not acceptable. I want to be happy. How much happy? Completely happy. What does it mean by completely happy? Unconditionally happy. Limitless happiness. Limitless means what? At all the time, at every place, and under every situation. Desha, Kala, Vastu, Paricheda Shrahita Sukham. Limitless happiness. That means limitlessness that I want. And that is why there is a desire. Avidya gives rise to kama. Kama means a desire. Desire means this is again caused by subjectivity. I feel or I think exactly like the sense of being limited. Just as the jiva is a sense centered on I. Similarly, this object will make me happy is a sense centered on given object. What we call it raga and dvesha. The kama caused by raga dvesha is an expression of avidya caused not, and the kama when it creates a pressure gets transformed into karma. So when they say not vidyate hridaya grantihi, it means avidya kama karma grantihi. Whole granthi is dissolved. You discover that I am limitless, and thereafter, if there is any kama, any desire, that desire is only functional desire. What we call it as vyavarika ichha. Just a transactional desire. To transact business, as long as that I have this body-mind complex, I have to deal with this, and I have to deal with the Jagat. So what within the boundaries of dharma and within the boundaries of my requirements, I deal with this Jagat, and therefore I may have desires, but those desires are not binding desires. They are just transactional, or you can say vyavarik ichha, and that is nothing wrong in having those. So this person, avidya vidyate hridaya grantihi, when avidya is not there, kama also is not there. And when the kama is not there, karma also is not there. Okay. What is the karma is not there? How do you say there is no karma? You may see that person doing karma, and at the same time you say that karma is not there. Yes. How it is not there? Because that karta is not there. The doer is apparent. The doer is functional. The doer is vyavaharika. What kind of vyavaharika doer? Like an actor on the stage. When there is actor says, I am king, that I, the doer I, is vyavaharika, just functional. As long as I have to play this role of a king, I conduct myself as a king, I act as a king, I do those actions befitting to the king. That is a functional. But that actor knows I am not a king in absolute sense. In reality, I am a karta, na raja aham. Similarly, wise person's kartrutvam, doership, is functional. He or she may be related to the people around in a certain way, so he or she plays that role. He may be a guru, he plays the role of a guru, but then he or she knows, I am functionally guru. Really, I am not guru. I am not brother or sister or father or husband, whatever it is. It's just transactional role I play. And when the karta is apparent, listen this. All the karakas means all those aids to actions, karma, karana, sampradhan, apadan, etc. They are also functional. They are also not real, and therefore his karma is also not real. We chant this sloka, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Arpanam is Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, the oblations, the karma is Brahma. Brahmagnau, where it is offered, is Brahma. Adhikarana, Saptami Bhakti, is Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam. The one who, by the means of offering, or the person who offers, is also Brahman. That means karakas are mithya. So whole karma, karta is apparent, and therefore all the karmas performed by such person are also apparent. That is why it is called vidyate hridaya. Chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karma. Since we are discussing or we discussed about these karakas, I will take up this last thing first. Kshiyante, now chasya karmani, and then chidyante sarva samshayaha. All the doubts are resolved. That part we will take it little later. Understand? What does it mean by kshiyante chasya karmani? All the karmas are destroyed. All the karmas get exhausted in a way. We have had discussed these things in Tattva Bodha, but of course it was 3-4 years ago. Now we can look at this. What are the karmas? There are 3 types of karmas. Agami, Prarabdha, Sanchita. For any event to take place, look at it otherwise. There are infinite factors involved in it. What caused a given event? If you look at this, there are infinite things. Okay? For this matter, let us take this particular event of our class, my teaching. How many factors have caused this? Can you think of it? Nth number of things. First of all, me to become a Swami. From there, even I can still go further. This particular individual who is known as Paramatmananda, Swami Paramatmananda, to be born in India and to be born as Hindu. And from there onwards, you can start. Even if to become a Swami, and that too come across a teacher like Puja Swami Dayanand, that who knew Shastra and who could teach. But Swami Dayanji knew Shastra because he came across his teacher in Tarananji and Pranavananji. They knew because they came across their teachers. Whole Guru Shishya Parampara is a cause. This is only one segment of it I am talking about. And then so many, the Swamiji took course and we were 65 of them. And he has taken 7-8 courses, and I happened to learn it properly and gain the vision and have learned the methodology of teaching. That's another grace. You don't know how and why this happened. And somebody discovering this computer or mobile or this internet, the process of this discovery might have started in 30s and 40s. I was told the first computer was made in 1950. From there onwards, it coming up to us in this particular laptop or PC or whatever, or some of you may be having mobile, and I'm sure most of the Americans, they use Apple. Somebody starting company called Apple, there happened to be some founder of the Apple, the person, and who didn't study well, and he was an orphan, and he studied calligraphy, and that calligraphy helped him, and endless. If I start enumerating the causes, I think I can take equal number of classes as much as I take for whole Mundaka to be completed. So many causes. Somebody discovering electricity onwards. Beginning from the radio valve, the valve was discovered, then came the transistors, and then came the chips, and then came this. Their architects of designing the chips and processors are endless. Point is, infinite and electricity, transmission of electricity. And like yesterday, thank God that electricity, you never lose power. And we lost power, but thank God that I had connected this to my data, my computer data, and therefore there was Wi-Fi available in the computer, and I could take a class. Endless. How did they design the power transmissions? How did they work on that? And in type of inclement climate in US and India, and endless people have contributed. One point is, every event taking place now, you are sitting in your home, RCC technology to be discovered, reinforcement concrete. From there onwards, discovering the steel and use and then mining the stones, and endless, infinite things. Similar, listen this, similar. Any action on your part affects in an infinite way. It is like throwing a stone in a pool of water or a lake, which is quiet. The effect of one stone, throwing one big stone in the lake, is ever expanding ripples. So your karma has multiple effects, expanding effects, and you don't know what are. Just as just now we enumerated the causes for this event to take place, and so many causes are unknown to us. So what I do has multiple ever expanding effect, phalam, called the result, called karma phalam, which I am not aware of it. Action produces result in multiple way, and those reasons mature, they fructify at a specific time, under specific situation, at a specific place. And what governs this, that is called law of karma and karma phala, that only and only Ishvara knows. The laws of Ishvara regarding karma and karma phala creates the necessary impact, which not necessarily gives you result right now. The result of a given action may come immediately, after a few minutes, few hours, few days, few months, few years, few decades, few centuries, maybe few millennia. Nobody knows. Till then, that karma phala remains, you can say, in a dormant form, or you can say in a seed form. Bija rupena tishtati. The seed, if given a proper condition, when you plant at a proper land, provide proper water, etc., an external condition is conducive, it germinates, it fructifies. So also, these karma phalas are there in a seed form, waiting for fructification. When and how, only Bhagavan knows. And that necessary condition, that infrastructure for it to fructify, is provided by the Lord at a proper time, at a proper place, in a proper condition. And those karma phalas waiting to fructify, they are in a seed form. All that collections of such karma phalas are called as sanchita karma. Sanchita karma. Sanchitam karma. Sanchitam, very beautiful word in Sanskrit. Samyak chitam uparjitam. It is sanchitam. You have very well earned it. You have very well created it. It is brought about by you only. That is called sanchita karma. In a seed form. How many sanchitas are there? They are infinite. Okay? They are infinite because every karma has multiple effect. And the Jivatma has been doing these karmas for beginningless time. So effect is also infinite. Sanchitas are infinite in number, waiting for fructification. Of those sanchitas, sanchit karmas, some of them are ready for fructification. That set of karma which has started fructifying, that particular set causes birth of a particular body for a jivatma, a specific body to specific parents at a specific place and time with a specific sex, male or female. This karma phalas, from birth to death, that caused my birth, that is to cause my death, and in between the effect of it, that is matured, fructified, is called prarabdha karma. Again, definition is prakarshena arabdham phaladhanaya pravruddham iti prarabdham. That which is well begun, that which has started fructifying, for what? Giving the result. Prarabdha karma is those karma which have matured and they are giving you the result, karma phala. Karma phala in terms of sukha dukkha. They mature by providing you pleasant, conducive situation to make you happy. Another set is, or another type of karma phala is, they create unpleasant situation or may cause you unhappiness, discomfort, etc. That is papatmakam prarabdham. Another one is punyatmakam prarabdham, which is of nature of punya. The other is of the nature of papa. That set is called prarabdha karma. Prakarshena arabdham, begun. Sanchita set is accrued set. It is pending there. But some of them have started, which has caused this particular body to this particular parents at this particular place, at this particular time, in this particular sex. And the whole trajectory of that individual from birth to death is all nothing but manifestation of prarabdha. In a way, in a company account, as on given date, company may have to on his books of account may have to give away some crores of rupees and may have to receive again crores of rupees as per the books of account. So many dues to be paid off, so many dues to be received. But on a given date, there are only limited commitments. Let us say, as on today or a given day, company may be in debt of 150 crores of rupees and may have to receive 170 crores, may have credit of 170 crores. But it is not that all that is to be done or squared up today. Today, as per the cash book or cashier, company had issued forward dated checks worth 45 lakhs and had received forward dated checks worth 90 lakhs. So it may have credit of 45 lakhs today. That is as on today. That today, which matured, those checks were issued earlier and they have to be paid off today. And those checks were received in advance or as a payment, but with an advance date on it. That is to be credited to our account today. That set is prarabdha. And so much, 150 crores, 70 crores, all that is waiting is called sanchita. Two karmas. Prarabdha, sanchita. Third one is agami. the karmas done or performed by wise person after gaining the knowledge. He has a knowledge, gain the knowledge, aham akarta, aham abhokta, Sachidananda Usmi, etc. All that he knows. And as long as prarabdha is there, he has to perform karma, he or she, and keeps performing. That is agami. Karmas performed after gaining the knowledge. Agami, that is to come in future, till the prarabdha comes to end. All these three types of karmas, kshiyante, they get destroyed. How do you say all types of karmas are destroyed? Yes, we can explain it away. All the sanchita karmas have their locus in that ahankara, the individual, the jivatma. The fellow who was a doer, the fellow who was an enjoyer, karta bhokta, was adhishtanam, was the substratum, is the substratum of all sanchitas. That fellow only takes the sukshma sharira, that jiva, which we call it, that individuality, what we said in the previous mantra, prana sharira neta, that is individuality. That individual is the locus, is the fulcrum, you can say, or is the substratum for all those sanchitas. Okay? Karmas. They fructify for the jivat. Accordingly, the jivatma gets a body, a yoni, etc. Now, what is knowledge? When one gains self-knowledge, the jivatvam is destroyed. Vidyante hridaya granthi. Avidya kama karma granthi. The knot of ignorance, desire and karma. And you can say karma phala also. That binds the jivatma to different yonis. That kama karma, vidyante, is not there, is destroyed, is removed, perishes. So jivatma is not there. Individuality is not there. Please, ahankara is not there. Please understand. Ahankara is not there. What does it mean? Individuality is not there. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that wise man always uses plural. Individuality is not there. I am hungry, I am thirsty. Now he will say, we are thirsty. I am everything, so whole world is thirsty today. and whole world is hungry today. Feed the world. That kind of statement he will not make. Ahankara is destroyed means ego is falsified. That individuality may continue. He still may say, I am Swami Dayananda or Swami Paramatmananda. That is individuality. But that is falsified. Falsified means what? Wise man knows it is an apparent. This is only transactional individuality. Like they have in psychology, the transactional analysis. This is Vedanta transactional analysis, okay? Vedantic transactional analysis. What is Vedanta transactional analysis? That the fellow knows individuality is only transactional. Karta is vyavaharika. Falsified means it knows it is mithya, it is an apparent, like the beggar on the stage is mithya. Actor knows. The beggar is apparent. That's a transaction. As long as I have to play this role, as long as I'm wearing this dress, as long as I'm on the stage, I have to conduct myself as a beggar, and that's how he or she continues. So, when Hridaya Granthi Vidyante, Ahankara is destroyed. Understand, destroyed in this sense. Ahankara is resolved, that is in this sense. And Puja Swamiji would say that. Shastra would, the Swamiji had a very nice, very apt English word. After that, there is Ahankara, what is called as Badhita Ahankara. I sense is there. He or she may say, I went to there and I did this and I want to do that, etc., etc. But that I sense is what? Apparent, is incidental, transactional, and that awareness is called Badhita Ahankara. Puja Swamiji would use this word. That sense is enlightened ego. Please understand. Puja Swamiji, when he said this, enlightened ego, ego generally means ignorant ego. Ego is a synonym of ignorance. But what it means by enlightened ego, that individuality or doership is there, but person knows that individuality or sense of doership is transactional only, vyavaharika only. That ahankara is destroyed. That means the loke for all sanchita, the substratum of all sanchita, the fulcrum of all this sanchita is destroyed. When the fulcrum is destroyed, everything connected to fulcrum collapses. So all his sanchita karmas, what kshiyante, they are destroyed. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chidyante sarva samshayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani. Okay. Asya karmani kshiyante, it gets exhausted. Shastra would say, I had mentioned this earlier, they are in a seed form. How does they get perished? They are perished by like what? Dagda bijavat. As though the seed is roasted. When you roast a seed in fire, it loses its capacity to germinate. It cannot sprout. Similarly, these are all roasted, mean they cannot sprout. There is no karma phala born out of sanchita to this person. Okay? Sanchita gets roasted. Sanchita gets destroyed. Question may come. No. How can karma phala can get destroyed? That destroyed means this individual will not be anymore held liable or responsible for all the karmas that are seeking fructification. What will happen to them? Those karmas will merge into samasti. They will merge into totality. That merging is called as kshiyante chasya karmani. Like even this person had done a great philanthropy. He was known for his philanthropy and contributory actions in the society. This person turned 60. And then Nagrik Sanman Samiti, these samitis are self-created, committees. when our CM stepped down, they created a committee. What? Runasvikara Samiti. A committee to accept the obligation, acknowledging his obligation. And they wanted some excuse to felicitate him. So Runasvikara Samiti was created and they felicited. So this Nagarik Sanman Samiti, citizens committee was made to felicitate this person. And they decided to collect a huge purse and give him. This person was so philanthropic that he promised them, announced, whatever amount you collect from the town and give me, I will match that amount and we will use all the money for further philanthropy. It was a big challenge for the committee, as well as a big opportunity also to do seva, contributory action, some good seva work, and they collected some 5 crores. And he matched. So next day, they were to create a new foundation of 5 crores by the committee, and 5 crores his contribution, new charity foundation of 10 crores. Next day happened to be his birthday, 60th. All the dignitaries of the town were invited. Invitations were sent. But the previous night, police commissioner comes to him and tells him, look, I'm a good friend of yours. So out of my friendship, I will give an extension of 2-3 days. But after 3 days, I'm going to arrest you. I have all the evidence that you are involved in drug smuggling also. Your riches that you have is not out of this industry and the trading business that you do. It is out of those drug peddlers that you help. And you have your commissions, you are a party to this and drugs, and I have a warrant to arrest you. But I will execute it after 3 days. Let this function, felicitation, may take place tomorrow. After 2 days, you may meet your family and settle a few things, whatever you want to, business, because this offense will give you at least 15 years of jail. He told his friend, went away. Same that night, this fellow could not sleep. He was stressed, feeling what face will I show to society? Everyone thinks that I am a great philanthropist and I have been doing a lot of charity work and I'm very honest, upright, righteous person. That's what image that I have created. Under that garb of that image, he was doing those illicit activities. So he was stressed, and out of anxiety and stress, he got a cardiac arrest, heart attack. At morning 6, he collapsed. Same day, there was a function. Citizens Forum for felicitation. They had collected 5 crores and he was to give his 5 crores from himself and that foundation. He died. Where will the money go? And what will happen to his file, crime file? Police commissioner will write with a scratch on it, file closed, party deceased. All crime punishment to be given to him is closed. And the 5 crores that he was to receive is also not receivable because the receiver is not there. Similarly, karma phalasya receiver, ahankara not being there, sanchita perishes. Agami also is not there because there is no sense of doership. It is falsified. Karta is falsified. Bhokta is falsified. So sanchita and agami are not there. What happens to prarabdha? Okay. Since prarabdha has very well begun to fructify, very well begun, prakarshena arabdham, begun for my fructification. So prarabdha kshaya will take place only at the exhaustion of prarabdha, not before. Prarabdha will continue. Like even, suppose a car is moving at a speed of 160 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, and suddenly the gas is exhausted. There is no fuel. It is in moment. Car is in motion. That car will not stop. What causes the motion is gas. But if the gas is not there, motion should not be there. But no, that motion which was already created by the fuel that was there, it will keep the car going for some distance. That is called prarabdha. It is set in motion. Prarabdha has begun to fructify. So what prarabdha caused this body? And it causes its death and birth and etc. So till the death comes, the body will continue, and that Mahatma or that wise person will continue abiding or living in the given body. But then prarabdha, last thing, sanchita gone, prarabdha gone, agami also is gone. Agami means the karmas to be done in future is also not there because ahankara is not there. Ego is destroyed. In other words, there is a badhita ahankara or there is enlightened ego, and only the enlightened ego keeps doing some karmas here and there. Since the real kartrutvam is not there, the karma phala doesn't come to him, and therefore all the 3 karma phalas are destroyed as though. Okay, vidyante chasya karmani, vidyante hridaya granthi, kshiyante chidyante sarva samshayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani, all karmas perish, are destroyed in this sense. Incidentally, the prarabdha is to the body. Body has a prarabdha. How much it will live, when it will die, what kind of sukha dukkha it will have to undergo, etc. That wise person knows I am not the body. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham nacha jarotrate, etc. He knows. And therefore, there is no prarabdha for him. Apparently, there is a prarabdha to him. But from his standpoint of view, wise person's standpoint of view, there is no prarabdha for me. Jiva says it is my prarabdha because Jivatma identifies, that individual fellow identifies with the body, and the plight of the body becomes my plight. The status of the body becomes my status, and therefore Jivatma thinks it is my prarabdha. It is of the body. Like even when Ramana Maharshi had a cancer, people sympathized. Oh, Maharshi ji, you have cancer. How are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. He said, who has a cancer? Body has a cancer. It is a cancerous body. I am not the body. Me having cancer is incidental, is apparent. So let it be there. If it is apparent, why do I bother? Whatever it is apparent is mithya. Why should I keep changing the mithya and working to change the mithya? Let it be there. I don't mind. So cancer is to the body, not me. That awareness is there with the wise person. Therefore it is said, Kshiyante chasya karmani. All the karmas get destroyed. There are no more karmas left for him to be performed or to be exhausted further. No more karma phalas to be exhausted anymore. That is the wise person. And by the way, he doesn't, you can say this, he or she doesn't get free from karma phalas. He discovers that I am already free. Mukti is not gained. It is a discovery of the fact that Nitya Muktosmi. I am ever free. That is Mukti. Aham sada muktosmi. I am ever free. Even while I considered myself to be bound, I was free. Nitya Muktosmi, that awareness, that knowledge itself is called Mukti. Understand? And therefore, Tasmin Drashte, we shall see this, Chidyante Sarva Samshaya, that all the doubts are eliminated. What kinds of doubts, etc. It's a long discussion. We'll look into it in the next class. That will be on 29th of January. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.